Good morning. My name is Amol Nirgudkar. I'm the CEO of Patient Prism. And I have here with me my dear friend, Dr. Ryan Hungate, who is who I've known recently for the last year or so, but he's been an amazing friend of ours at Patient Prism and a supporter. Uh, Dr. Hungate is the founder and CEO of Simplifeye. It's an amazing chat technology. It's called Amplify, that allows doctors to schedule new patients over chat. And he's a practicing orthodontist too, and an amazing speaker, by the way. If you ever hear him to speak at
Thank you.
conferences, it's always riveting. And Ryan has launched a new platform called Simplify Connect, which is a teledentistry platform recently, and he expedited this process. They were going to launch this anyway, but expedited because of the crisis that we're facing. And and so I'm really intrigued by that because we are obviously facing the biggest crisis of our lives. I hope we don't get to see this again in our lifetime, where the entire country seems to be shut down. It's affecting the dental offices a little harder because of some prohibitions by states to prevent non-essential patients from coming in. So teledentistry becomes an incredible option for now for us, for dental offices to see emergencies, triage them, and potentially see non-emergencies too, and collect some money, as well as there have been some changes in insurances. So I'm excited to talk to you about this. Welcome.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Very excited to talk about it as well. There's new things happening with teledentistry every day now, which usually you can't say in the dental world that things are moving so quickly. But now we can.
So tell me, I was when I spoke to you last week, I was surprised that, man, you already had a platform called Connect done already. I'm like, how did you do this fast? So tell me how the idea for Connect came about.
Yeah. So it was really interesting. I'll never forget the date. It was January 23rd. One of our investors was having a CEO dinner. And we were out, this is kind of when it was hitting in the Wuhan province. So it was all we were kind of chatting about at the meal, but it was more so to be like intellectual and say that we knew what was going on in the news, right?
Yes.
Well, turns out that the founder sitting next to me is originally from Wuhan province and his family was over there at that time. I was just drawn in because he told me this story where, you always are never sure what it's like because, we remember SARS, we remember, the swine flu, all this other stuff. So you're thinking, it's not that bad. China will get this under control. No big deal. And
Right.
he told me a completely different story. It's like, no, they were 10 deep in a ambulance and they're picking up, but people were, falling over dead. It was a nightmare, right?
Right.
That he
Right. Right.
painted for me. And then on top of that, his family members were over there, and he ended it in a very specific way. He's like, "It's coming for us," which took me by surprise. I'm like, "No, no, 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 no! Like, China gets this under control. They're gonna shut it down. No big deal." And he's like, "No, they didn't get this one under control. This one's getting out. It's coming over here. I don't know what level." So it scared the living tar out of me, right?
Right.
And basically, we went back to headquarters, and I had a quick brainstorming session. We have an amazing, uh, you know, design person. We have some really unbelievable engineers, just a great team.
Sure.
And we started thinking, what does dentistry, what does healthcare look like overnight if nobody can go in, right? Because people will still have symptoms, they'll still need care. What happens? And all we could come up with was that teledentistry, telehealth, springs up overnight, and that everybody, not just some, every single person that will survive this, depending on how long it lasts, will be
Right.
utilizing some sort of telepresence. And so I sent two engineers on a fool's errand, right? Is what I like to call it. I was like, look, this ain't going to happen. But just in case it does, let's start building out what does that look like? Let's build something that's super easy because every doctor out there will not
Right.
want to onboard something super complicated.
Right.
Let's make it work with our current Connect product, our current Amplify product.
Sure.
Let's see what that looks like. And they started slowly making it. So for the next 2 months, two engineers were building it. Well, all of a sudden, the tidal wave hits in the beginning of March. I kept all the engineers up for a week and a half, and lo and behold, now we have Simplify Connect.
This is unbelievable. I mean, I
Yeah,
cannot. It's almost like a movie could be made out of this story.
yeah,
Uh,
it's
you
wild.
know, it's sad to me that the resources that our country has in terms of all the intelligence agencies, and we keep on missing the boat when it comes to a gentleman from an investor, a private individual in China was able to give you this information. And here we have hundreds of billions of dollars spent on defense and the agencies, and we cannot figure this out somehow and take
Yeah.
it. It really boggles my mind, and that's another discussion. But
Yeah.
it's an incredible story, I think.
Thanks.
Uh, and you were one of those entrepreneurs that knew that this was going to be coming. So kudos to you and congratulations for launching
Thanks.
this
Yeah.
product.
We hoped it wasn't going to hit but I guess it did. So, we tried to be ready as possible. Still development, ongoing. It's really exciting to see how people are actually picking this up and using it now because it's modifying every day.
So how does it work?
Yeah. So basically what we did is we tried to imagine what these doctors' offices are going to look like, and it ended up happening. So right now, almost every doctor that we're talking to is on somewhat of a skeleton crew,
Sure.
right? Some people are still seeing patients, but they're trending towards a skeleton crew. And if that's the case, doctors are now having to do things that they used to not do, right? We were used to, you know, having a support staff of a front desk, an assistant, and a hygienist. And now imagine that it's just a doctor and maybe a part-time front desk person and maybe a part-time assistant. So what does that look like if I have to somehow man a whole office based on that outcome? So what we did is we paired it. We made it in four easy steps, right? So that's how we talk about it. The first step is if you don't have a front desk person, you have to convert your voicemail. So basically what we do is we walk them through, hey, tell all of your patients that right now we are fielding all of our urgent care and emergency patients via 24/7 live chat. So what we do is instantaneously, right now, if you don't have a front desk person, now you kind of do. So that flips them, because if they're really an emergency urgent patient, guess what? They go to your website, right? They
Right.
actually want to find a doctor that's open. So they go there. We're up and going 24/7 with our live chat people. We
Right.
accept their chat and we talk with them.
Right.
Our next job is to literally figure out if they're actually an urgent patient, right? And we just ask them, right? If they feel urgent, then they're urgent, right? Now, the next choke point is that doctors are usually not comfortable, or they're not used to collecting insurance information or
Sure.
billing information,
Sure.
right? So guess what? Our chatters are. We can actually collect insurance information live right there before we kick them to the doctor. So then what happens is remember, this is where Amplify, our chat product, really connects with our Connect product. So what we do is after they've given us the correct insurance information, we say,
Sure.
our doctor is live right now. I'm going to pass you into our virtual patient waiting room. So then what happens is we pass them a unique link. They click on that link, and as soon as they hop in our virtual patient waiting room, look, doctors aren't going to sit around all day and watch their dashboard, right?
Sure.
They might be helping their kids out, right? They might be shopping for groceries, through whatever that looks like right now. So if that's the case, what happens is we have to get a hold of them and tap them on the shoulder, just like an assistant would,
Right.
if that happens. So we send them a text, an email, and a desktop notification all simultaneously. Basically, tap them on the back of the head and say, hey, patient is waiting for you. Now, it's a virtual patient lounge, right? AKA the waiting room. So
Right.
patients are used to waiting. So it's not
Yeah.
like you have to instantaneously be on there either, right? So what happens is they get that tap. They can either accept it on their phone, they can accept it on their desktop, right? And the best part about this, once again, no app download. I always like to tell people, call your parents right now and walk them through downloading an app on the App Store. It is not a fun process, right?
Absolutely.
So we concentrate on make it just a website. It automatically grabs the needed stuff on your phone or on your desktop, and you're up and running immediately, right? So what happens is then we utilize like a synchronous portion of teledentistry. I truly believe that, what we're doing right now, what FaceTime is, this is what people have come to expect.
Correct.
There's asynchronous types as well, which are the forums out there. There's a lot of those. But if you're an urgent patient or an emergency patient, you want this, right? You
Right.
want to be taken care of right away. So then what happens is step 3 is the doctor has the urgent or the emergency appointment with the patient. Really, all you're trying to figure out at that moment in time, right? In this moment in time in teledentistry, all you're trying to figure out is, are you urgent or are you not, right? We're not trying to figure out the next steps. That's 2 weeks from now, where we figure out how we actually, evolve into this next form of dentistry.
Right.
Whereas right now, you're just trying to screen the people to see if you need to see them on Monday or if you need to kick them out to May, right? We hope at least, right? So if that's the case, have the screen time, face-to-face interaction. We can capture photos. We can share our screens. We can transfer files. So new patient forms, we can collect files from them as well, consent forms, whatever it might be. They can give us signatures. And then after that, we're either going to decide to see them or we're going to not decide to not see them. Now, the nice part is that we've also built out a dashboard. All right. So our patient dashboard afterwards, all of this information that you've taken in these notes, it's automatically transferred to our dashboard where then you can connect and you can actually tag, right? For anybody that's seen Slack, you can hit @ and you can choose somebody in your organization, like maybe a temporary front desk person. And what you do is you tag them on that note. You say, hey, Bill Tom Smith for D140 code, and then also schedule for Monday for emergency extraction of number 5, right? And what happens is Kelly, who is working once a week, she gets all these special magic links. She clicks on each one that takes her to the specific note. She bills and done, right? So really from start to finish, it's 4 easy steps, and that's how we've kind of built the whole thing.
What I love about this is, with adoption of any new technology, it takes a little while for people to get used to new habits. But
Yep.
what you've done is the Amplify product seems to be that bridge between the adoption, right? Because now you've got an assistant basically
Yeah.
helping you with the with teledentistry, because a lot of people are going to sign up for this stuff and they're not going to use it because
Yeah.
are you going to log on constantly? You're busy, but now you've created the perfect bridge between using this new technology and having an intermediary assistant, which is your Amplify rep, who is going to basically do everything for you and give you the patient on a virtual platter in the virtual waiting room.
Yeah, it is. It's a special piece of the whole thing, right? Because what we found is that, I've talked to a lot of people. There's a huge amount of teledentistry platforms out there, and there are platforms that are way more complicated than ours, right? They do way more stuff than ours. And in a non-COVID time period, they're fantastic, right?
Absolutely.
Because they were built prior to all of this stuff. We built it for this situation to get us through this, right? And then who knows what it evolves into later on.
But I mean, we both of are in software worlds, right? The hardest thing, my world is a little different because the hardest thing we have is how do we get people to do what they're supposed to do and use the tool and use the
Yep.
platform for their benefit. But if you make it easy for them, and in the least amount of friction, but you're basically providing a virtual assistant through Amplify to
Yeah.
help them launch this product. It's beautiful. I think it'll have more success. Because right now people just don't have the time to learn something
No.
brand new. The mental energy is not there, and it's not. They're not going to log on and keep waiting for patients to come in.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, people always remember like onboarding a Dentrix, EagleSoft, or an Open Dental, right? It's tough. You do not want to right now learn another Dentrix, EagleSoft, or Open Dental. And look, I'm a doctor. I didn't learn my entire EHR anyways. It was always the assistant, front desk, or hygienist that actually knew what was going on in there, right?
yeah.
So if I'm onboarding another one of those, there's no way it's going to work. And we've even found that, and you're right, because the average person out there, we've talked about people who are using other teledentistry platforms, they're seeing 1 or 2 patients a week, whereas our people are seeing between 30 and 40 patients a week. And it's
That's
because you're right.
unbelievable.
We're shoveling them right in their face. And, the best quote that I've gotten from a doctor so far is he did the math on this. And at the end of the year, this is just on one of his locations. He has 2 locations. He basically said that I'm going to make $150,000 per location on this for what he's billing. Right.
Wow.
And that's not what they're used to. But at the same time, this is what he said. He goes, this is the new fluoride, except patients like it, which
Exactly.
is
I
great.
think this is wonderful. Let me ask you a different question based on, you said 30 to 40 patients. So how do dentists bill for consults? You were talking about some codes earlier. So what's
Yeah.
the process of
Yeah.
billing?
So what we did is we know that it's super complicated right now for this. So and this is changing by the day, right? Literally by the day, sometimes twice a day. And the ADA is updating all of this. So what we did is we tried to make a centralized area that you can find all this information. So if you go to simplify.com/telecodes, TELE codes, we are updating everything on there. So the way that you bill for this is two pieces, right? First, you need to include a administrative code. All right. There's two types of codes. There's synchronous and asynchronous. So like I was saying, for what we're doing right now, which is basically FaceTime is the easiest way to describe it. That's
Right.
synchronous, and that's the D9995 code.
Okay.
For asynchronous, the only difference is a 6 instead of a 5, so D9996.
Sure.
But like I was saying, for us, it's a 5. So after you've done that, the one that's most commonly used, like 99% of the time, is a 140 code, D0140. It's like a limited evaluation that a lot of doctors do all day long. This
Right.
is the code that you actually bill for. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're billing insurance, this is what you're including. Now it's different for almost every single insurance. So if you would scroll to the bottom of that page, we have literally listed the how to bill for teledentistry for every single insurance out there. And when I say that every single insurance, almost every single insurance so far has been added. Like literally out of the three big ones, there's three. Like out of all the big ones, there's only three that have not done it yet. And
Okay.
there's a reason. So a lot of people haven't commented on it yet. But if you think about it, think about how good insurance companies are doing right now,
Oh my God,
right?
phenomenally well.
They're killing it, right? Nobody's getting treatment. We're not billing for anything. Nobody's out, driving around, so nobody's getting hurt, right? The only thing is probably kids are probably getting hurt at an accelerated rate because they're bouncing off the walls like crazy,
Right.
which,
Right.
maybe pediatric dentists will come out of this really well. So I think that, it's really interesting. They're being very nice right now, because I don't think that, I didn't get any messages that they're laying off uh, collecting premiums, right? So
That's right.
I
That's
think
right.
that, I think they're gonna have record quarters, and because of that, they're saying, hey, sure, I'll bill out for telemedicine. And what's interesting is all the way down to some of the best reimbursement that you're seeing on this as of right now
Right.
is actually Medicaid, just because they've been doing this forever. I think right now they're reimbursing about $40 for each appointment, which is wild. So if you are a pediatric dentist or if you're a doctor that takes Medicaid, you need to get this up and going yesterday, because you can do pretty darn well. I've seen people reimbursing as low as $17 and all the way up to $60. And the average charge that a doctor is doing is between $60 and $90 for each appointment. So obviously you can bill for this, not only bill insurance, but you actually can bill the patient as well.
So tell me about that. So let's say I say I'm going to do telemedicine, teledentistry consults. I'm going to charge a flat, $50 fee, $75 fee. Are you seeing
Hmm.
your clients do that and then bill and
Yeah.
the bill later and then work it out based on what you get reimbursed? Either you owe a
Yep.
patient a refund or it's still owed.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what all of them are doing. There's people that start off not doing that, which is absolutely fine. We have a lot of our orthodontists who are just saying, "Hey, during this crazy time, we are available, 24/7 via our chat for any questions." And then on top of that, if you have it like a wire poking you, or if you have another urgent question, well, you can do a telehealth conference, right? So what happens is that doctor is doing it kind of for their existing patients, so they're not charging extra. It's just a way for them to connect with patients
Sure.
uh, during the tough time. But then what's happening is I've seen orthodontists, they're like, okay, why am I not doing consultations right now and stacking everybody up till May?
Right.
Done, right? Because there's so many people at home right now. They're like, what the hell can I do? I could do this, right? I could try to set up my case for braces later on. I've never thought about that. So what's interesting is people are coming out of that oh my god period right now. And look, there's 99% of the people are still in it, which is okay, right? Hell, I'm still in it, right? So I think that as people come out of that, they're going to realize that within the next, I would say, 60 days, every primary care physician, which includes dentistry, obviously. I always say
Right.
primary
Right.
care is like prior to you getting to the emergency room, right? Um, is going to adopt some sort of telemedicine, some sort of telehealth, teledentistry platform, or possibly not look good at the end of this, right? This is going to be, in my opinion, the way that you keep your lights on in some form or another until we're done, until you start to see emergency patients on a regular basis. I think that you've probably seen the Henry Schein test that's coming out. I think that that looks great, the 15-minute test. I think that that'll be really exciting, and that'll be a form of how we kind of get back to normal. But until we all figure out how that triage program works and how that test works, I think that this will be the way forward.
A quick question about orthodontists, because you're an orthodontist. You could potentially see ortho consults, right?
Yeah,
Non-emergency ortho consults, wire poking, aligners that need to be, you need a new set, and you could bill for that.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you are an orthodontist and not moving your aligners forward right now, what are you doing? Right? Because right now it's open. Does it fit well? Is it loose anywhere? Cool. Go grab the cotton roll. Go grab your chewy it down there. Cool. All right. I'll see you in 4 weeks. Moving on. Right.
Right.
That's what we do anyways. Now, obviously, if they're not fitting, you'll say, okay, wear your last tray. I'll see you when this is all said and done.
Okay.
But at the same time, a majority of your patients, you should be able to kick those patients forward. When it comes to wires poking, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people grab the fingernail clippers and clip the wire, right? So, if it's poking them that bad, I see a mom, they get really creative when they reach back there with the fingernail clippers and they clip that wire. So there's all kinds of different things that you can get up and going very quickly with this. I've seen people start to get really creative as well. I've seen general dentists doing smoking cessation classes and billing for that, right? So they're doing Saturday smoking cessation classes, and they do huge groups. Like, our platform can actually allow multiple people in the room at once, and they can
Right.
bill out for that. I've seen mommy and me and daddy and me oral health education for kids, right? You can bill for that. So it's really cool what people are starting to do with this, and I'm excited to see what else develops out of it.
This is fascinating. I love the smoking cessation
Yeah.
idea. It's a great idea, and it's good for society as well. How long? I mean, it seems to me from what you're telling me that this easy platform. It's how long does it take to get set up and get going right away, right, for dental practice?
Yeah. So it's a 10 to 15-minute training, right? We send you a survey that tells you fill that out. You tell us all about your practice, the procedures you do, all that good stuff, how you're responding to COVID right now, your specific response to it. What's nice is our chatters are able to, if you want to call them, instead of appointments, you can call them, reservations. Like, we can do goofy little things like that that represent your brand perfectly as well. So you fill all that information out. We literally send the code to your web developer. They usually put it up. It takes them about 30 seconds. So they have it up in 24 to 48 hours. We do the training the next day. And onboard you, and you can start using the telehealth platform and get used to it. So usually from sign up to up live, you're up and going between 24 and 48 hours. It's quick.
So what if you're not an Amplify customer as of now? Can you buy this as a standalone product?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So what we're doing is it's interesting. I kind of see we're very lucky in this moment, right? Our product is kind of like that well in the middle of a desert. And I could be the ass that's charging $5 a drink right now. But I don't want to be that person, right? I'd rather develop a really good relationship with people. And being a doctor myself, I know, hell, all my friends from my class are, they just laid off so many people, and doctors aren't used to firing people, right?
Right.
Most of people, when you go into a practice, they've had people there for 20 years,
Right.
which is so cool. At first you think that that's weird, but then it's all about the culture that they create, and they actually care about people's families. So this is a
Right.
really hard period, both, you know, on the business side, but also on the mental side as well. We don't really talk about the mental health of, I feel so bad for doctors right now. So what we're doing right now is we are signing people up. It's 60 days free
Wow.
for the package, and basically no credit card needed. Just you can go to simplify.com/connect and sign up right away and literally choose your onboarding. We'll onboard you, and that's it. And then you can use it. Hopefully this helps you get back on your 2 feet, and who knows? My hope is that we go back to normal and all this teledentistry is going to be the future. It just kind of goes the way of the dinosaurs. We get back to normal, right? I highly doubt that. I think the patients are going to start to get used to teledentistry and they're going to really like it,
Sure.
especially for the rural areas and tough to reach. Another thing that we were talking about with one of our practices is, we send out recall reminders all the time.
Right.
This is for the post-COVID era. Maybe you send out one recall reminder, two recall reminders, and why not on the third one? Obviously that person's either nervous to come in, they're too far away, whatever it might be. Why not send out a teledentistry appointment, right? They can sign up for that. You can have one of these, you can bill insurance, and you can actually talk with them. They only take 5 to 10 minutes, right? You're not having huge 20-minute conversations with these patients. You're figuring out how they're doing, you're getting them in. So I think that you're going to start to see some very interesting new, avenues that people are taking. Same thing with oral surgeons, right? Why are you having somebody in to see if they have the infection, right? Most of the time you can see like, oh, that is huge, red, puffy. I need to get you the antibiotics now. And
Right.
then afterwards I have you in, numb you up and take care of the problem. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, we're making sure that people can sign up right away, no questions asked, and just get up and
So,
going so they can
so
get
if
the
they
healing right
sign
away.
up for the free trial and they sign up for the 60-day, that's very generous of you to do that. Is there's will the chat will Amplify help in that process as well? So you get
Yes.
okay.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You're
This is a
correct. So
huge value.
basically,
I mean, you're getting two products for nothing, literally, for a 60-day period.
yep.
And you can be up and running in literally half a day.
Yeah, and if you are our current people, then what we're doing is we're getting you set up with your teledentistry product as well. So we're giving that absolutely free of charge as well. So that's the nice part is we're literally getting people up and going right away. And yeah, it's helping out a lot. We're getting reports of people feeling like they're back on their feet. Obviously not 100% whole by any means, but it's interesting. I get so many texts right now. I had my first teledentistry appointment, right? They're celebrating it. They're like, look, I accomplished this. And they realize that it's easy and that it's almost like the first appointment you ever had in your entire new practice, right? You're so excited. Oh my God, I saw a patient right after dental school. This is so cool. It's that feeling again. And the one thing I tell all these doctors is remember, you've been here before, right? This is where you
Right.
started. It's not cool because you're back here, but at the same time, you have done this before and you'll be fine.
So okay, this is great. I want to sign up. Tell us how dentists can learn more. When you say this stuff, we're going to display this on the screen, so it's easier
Yeah.
for people to contact you guys. And what's the way? Phone number, email, website, sign up. Just give us some details, and we'll put them on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. So if they go to simplify.com/connect, what will happen is you'll see a picture of everything that we're doing right now, what the interface looks like. But if they scroll to the bottom there, you'll see a form that you can fill out, and you can literally choose a time and a date, and that will be right there for your onboarding. Right, they can sign up right there. There's no credit card needed. In the referral spot, you can actually put Patient Prism down there, so we know which podcast you listen to. I'd love to track that. But basically, yeah, they can go on there. They can fill that all out, and we'll get them up and going right away.
And turnaround is pretty quick. You're saying it's
Yeah. Yeah. Right now we're finding that we're booked out about 1 to 2 days. So we do quite a few onboarding. Excuse me, quite a few onboardings every single day. But yeah, right now people are popping on there and just booking their times, and it's going well.
well. This has been an interesting chat. I mean, it's always amazing to talk to you, but I applaud you for really pushing this quickly, and I think I love the solution because of the hand holding that you're providing through your Amplify agents who are already equipped to handle dental conversations and really getting these dentists up and running very quickly without having to spend a lot of time setting up. Congratulations on this. You're definitely a company that thinks outside the box, and you've solved many problems for dental offices over the years. And I wish all of us the best during this time. April is going to be a tough month
Yep.
for us, and we're here to support our industry. You are here to support it as well. And no, I really appreciate this a lot. We want to help as many of our clients and everybody in dentistry as much as possible during this time. And if
Yeah.
they can launch something that not only provides them some cash flow right now, but also in the future, um,
Yeah.
it'll be great. So thank you, Dr. Ryan Hungate, for this wonderful webinar this morning. And I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.